What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for this Sunday morning weekly sports card market update where we talk about news, price movements, shenanigans, nonsense, the whole 9 yards that happened in the past week in the world of sports cards. Little light on news this week. I have something potentially brewing that I am working on, but I don't have it locked down yet. I have it 98.9%. But I want this one 100% before I run with it. So maybe we get an afternoon update. Maybe we do a Monday thing. I don't know. Or someone else will probably bust it open before I get to it. But something like this, I don't like to run with it until I got it down. So I am holding off, but we got something. Might have a red alert video coming out. We'll see. Other than that, it's been a pretty quiet week in the grand scheme of things. The hottest thing continues to be, and the hottest talking piece in the sports card world is Prism Monopoly. Prism Monopoly was the hottest thing at the show I was at yesterday. I was at my local Canton show. I had my 2 blaster boxes that I took with me, boosters, whatever you want to call them. I should refer to them as boosters. More on that in a second. The Target ones that I had left over from that video. I did a deal with those. I did not sell them. I went to one of the dealers that I talk to often. I was willing to move them for a very reasonable price that I knew they could then sell them for and make a little bit of profit on it. We actually ended up doing a trade. More on that in an upcoming video. I did it. I traded them instead of straight sold them, and then he ended up selling them literally instantly. We did the deal, and he put them on the table, and we were still there finishing the deal, and one person bought one, and I walked away for 5 minutes, and someone else bought the other one. And then walking around the show floor, only 2 other dealers had them. One was at 65. I didn't see anyone buy any, but the pile looked smaller the second time I walked through. And then one of the other dealers had some as well. Those were the only 3 dealers of a 50-table show that had them in stock. So they are moving. Everyone was talking about them. Everyone walked up and were like, is that the thing that everyone's talking about? So for what it's worth, on the sealed side of things, the flip potential is definitely there. They are currently sitting between that same price range, 50 to 60. They are definitely flirting with 60. People were definitely selling them for 50 to 60 cash today at the show. Like I said, I saw deals go down firsthand. So more power to you after I ripped my one. Speaking of Prism Monopoly, we're just kind of mix between charts and graphs and kind of news. Like I said, I really don't have a ton of news stuff here, so we're going to bounce around to a few different things. A lot of wax talk here at the beginning of today's video. And speaking of Prism Monopoly, this dropped and is coming up on Panini's website. I mentioned this in the comment section of the video I posted the other day. These are blaster boxes. No idea on the price. These launch, I'm recording this Saturday night late in 2 hours and 14 minutes. So by the time you see this, it'll be less than that. No idea what these are going to retail for. No idea what the checklist is, because this product checklist does not look like the checklist to regular Monopoly. So either something isn't matching up or the checklist changed. This just seems like they got more of this stuff coming, and I will be curious to see how this impacts the price of the booster packs. I believe these have different exclusives in them. It just seems like a bunch of nonsense, to be quite honest with you. I am sure these will sell out fast. I also don't know if these are exclusive. It doesn't say. I'm going to imagine there's probably at least a chance. Okay, it does say here on this last bullet point, free parking parallel and money white insert are exclusive to the online blasters. So it does sound like this might be an online only exclusive thing, or they could get tricky with these and there are online only ones which have these, and then there will be physical store ones which do not. I wouldn't put anything past them. And this just goes back to what I was kind of talking about the other day. I would be very, very careful if I was putting a bunch of money into Prism basketball. Once again, the draft class is above average, at least currently. And this just feels like a very much in the moment thing. Will these be flippable? Probably. You will probably be able to buy these, take them, and then quickly resell them. I imagine they sell fast. I would be concerned about these showing up in Walmart and them just printing more, especially if there are not numbered. There are numbered cards in them, but just be careful with these things. That is all that I am saying. Speaking of Prism NBA, Mega Boxes went up on Target. They had sold out. So earlier in the day, I actually recorded a video about these, and I mentioned in it that they sold out. They came back up. They're sitting on Target's website. If you want a Prism Mega Box, might want to hold on a couple days. I bought 3 of these. I actually got them already. I ordered them on Wednesday. They came today while I was at the card show. They came. And I have ripped a box, and the video is recorded. And it is one that you will not want to miss if you're considering opening a bunch of Prism Megas. Minor spoiler for an upcoming video later this week. We'll run down content. I actually pre-recorded a bunch of stuff. I'm ahead of the game on content for the first time in ever. But Prism Megas are out. They're not in the wild yet. I haven't seen any on store shelves, but if you want to degen rip something, more power to you. You might actually, in all honesty, be better off ripping Prism Monopoly and selling it as fast as possible. But these are sitting as of right now, time of recording. It seems like they might be going in and out of stock, just kind of depending on what's happening. I ordered 3 of these. I have opened 1. I am not sure what I am going to do with the other 2, in all honesty. Hobby boxes. Prism basketball still slightly trending down. It's currently listed on Market Movers at $588. I have seen sales lower. I've seen prices closer to the 550s in some cases, but it's kind of bouncing around that mid 500s to upper 500s number. I'm going to guess that it slips below 550 at some point in time. Prism football hobby boxes are sitting in the low 6s. And those have basically been kind of floating in that same range as well. You can see over the last 2 weeks, both trending down. Just to kind of give you a frame of reference with Megas sitting at $60, what hobby boxes are going for. In all honesty, unless you're just a straight degenerate, I wouldn't open any of this stuff. Once again, you'll see my Prism box opening sometime this week. That video is recorded. I'm just not 100% sure when it is going to go up yet. The big one of the week, it is Bowman week. 2023 Bowman comes out this week, and it is getting hyped up. People love their Bowman. I would expect this to come out on Topps' website this week, maybe. They did do the pre-release sale on Jumbos and hobby boxes, and Jumbos went fast. Their Jumbos seem to be the thing everybody wants, so keep your eyes peeled on the 26th. See if Jumbos pop up on either Topps.com or Fanatics.com. If I see it, I will tweet it /community post /Discord it. So if you're not following me on the socials and you are interested in getting some, Jumbos seem to be hard to find. They went up on Topps' website for $400, which ended up being an absolute steal. They are currently going for the low to mid 5s pretty much everywhere. And I would expect that price to hold around there, as the Jumbos are the product that everybody wants. The hobby boxes seem to be caught in the middle. And the reports seem to be, though I'm no math whiz, I've seen a couple different people break this down. Striker Breaks did a good breakdown, and I've seen some people on Twitter do some breakdowns, and I've talked to some people that kind of follow this stuff. The blaster boxes actually seem like they might be really good, or at least solid. Especially for the price point of between, I've seen prices on blasters right now anywhere from $30 to $35. They were, at time of recording, still up on Walmart for $35. I seen some other websites have them up for $29.99. Initially, people thought they were going to be more expensive, but they have come out and the prices has kind of settled down on those. But, do your research, but it seems like the blaster boxes on these are going to be pretty hot. I have the 2 jumbo boxes coming. I probably do not plan on opening those. The blaster boxes, I am working on trying to get some and might do a opening of a bunch of Bowman blasters. I don't know crap about prospects. Bowman is definitely not my thing, but I am just kind of in degen mode. And if you're going to rip something, Bowman is a pretty good one to rip. But just put that on your radar. I am not the guy to talk to about the top 5 players you should be looking for out of this product. That's not my shtick. There are better people out there than me to handle that side of things. I'm just letting you guys and girls all know. Keep your eyes peeled for Bowman. It will be coming out later this week. I'm sure it'll be all you hear about. Bowman this, Bowman that. Drew Jones is in this product. That's the hot name. Along with Carl Crawford's kid is the other hot name. Beyond that, I am clueless. So keep your eyes peeled for Bowman coming out. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into market movers officially. For the chart and graph portion of this video, if you want to check out Market Movers, the link in the description down below. You get the first month for $1. If you want to try it out, you can with my coupon code down there. If you don't, perfectly fine. Ignore it. Basketball first, then we're briefly going to touch on baseball and then get out of here. No football talk this week, though. The NFL draft is later this week. We'll see if that shakes things up with trades and deals. Basketball is the thing that is moving, and it is exactly what we have been talking about since leading into the playoffs. With the players that will go up are not the ones that you think. It's going to be the guys that come out of woodwork and randomly have good games. First up the bat, Rui Hachimura. And I should note, I am recording this but before the Lakers game. I do not know what happens in Lakers-Memphis. I have seen everything else today. So that's the time of recording. So I don't know what happens in that game. Maybe Rui goes to the moon. Maybe he doesn't. But so far, Rui has been having a really good playoffs, and his card prices have gone up accordingly over the last 14 days. And you can see most of that's in the last couple. His Silver Prism PSA 10 is up a whopping 279%. This was a $15 card, and it is now going for over $50. He was very popular back in the boom times of the 2019 days. He was a very trendy prospect in that 2019 class. A lot of people were going after his stuff. Just never could seem to put it together with Washington. Then he kind of basically missed a full season to a season and a half with the COVID stuff. And he is back coming off the bench, playing a pivotal role for the Lakers and looking pretty decent. So his stuff is on the move up. Obviously, this will be completely determined on how much and how long they continue to go. You guys and girls knows what happened in that game. I do not. Jamal Murray has also looked really good so far this playoffs. The Nuggets look like a 1 seed, and they are whipping on the Timberwolves big time. And Jamal Murray has, I don't want to say got his groove back, but he looks really good again, kind of like he did in that initial breakout performance before he tore his ACL a few years ago. And once again, his prices accordingly have snuck up a little bit. Silver Prism PSA 10 up 40% from 285 to 400. And it's one thing to keep in mind with this is a 2016 class guy. Very low population on this. His PSA 10 silver is only pop 186. That is not a lot, especially when you put it into perspective with the modern day stuff where the pop counts on silver prisms are in the thousands. This is under 200 in a PSA 10. And like I said, I think the Nuggets, the way the Western Conference is just literally falling apart in front of our eyes. Who the hell knows what's going on with Leonard? The Suns, I don't know that they're going to be able to survive playing KD, Booker, and Chris Paul 44 minutes a game. I just don't think that's a recipe for getting through the playoffs. We'll see what happens in the Kings Warriors. I'm really excited for the next game in that series later today when you are all watching this. But the Nuggets, it looks like it's laying out perfectly for them to go to the NBA Finals. And like I said, that is a pretty low population for a Silver Prism PSA 10. Darren Fox is the other one. Obviously, this card is going to bounce around a little bit as this series is very hotly contested with the Kings up 2-1. We'll see what happens in that game later today. But his silver prism is up 35 or about almost 35% from 260 to 350. Kings have looked really good. They kind of crapped the bed in Golden State. I think that's to be expected with these young teams kind of going into these road environments for the first time. You saw the same thing happen to my Cavs. Boy, oh boy, the Cleveland Cavaliers on Friday night looked like crap. Oh, what a brutal game. They definitely looked like a team that had never been in the playoffs before and had to go into a hostile road arena. We will see how they perform later today. They are the early game today, so depending on when you're watching this video, you know if I am having a very good day or a very bad day. We will see what happens in that game. But same thing with the Kings. Both those teams look like the young, up-and-coming, upstart teams that got smacked around by the teams that are a little bit more veteran-heavy and have raucous home court advantages. So see what happens in today's games, but Fox stuff continues to go up as he has looked absolutely fantastic this playoffs. Two guys going down that are not involved in the playoffs. Luca prices continue to slide. His PSA 10 silver is now under 1.4, sitting at 1.38 on the last sale. You can see that last little dip. This chart is over the last 30 days. So from right before they got eliminated, running up and through today. And this card is probably going to continue to keep creeping down for a while. I don't know where the floor is at on this, but I still think it continues to go. I saw people in comments on some videos say it's going to go under 1,000. Could it get there one day? Yeah. I don't know that it gets there in the short term. I could be wrong on that. But I feel like at 1,000, people would just, a certain segment of people would come in and say, I'll just buy it 1,000 and I'll just hoard these things. The pop count on this for comparison to the Jamal Murray is 2,200 silver Luca prisms compared to Jamal Murray's 186. Just to kind of throw that in perspective from 2016 print runs to 2018 print runs. And 2018 was even before the boom. 2019, we have our boy Zion Williamson. His PSA 10 pop is 1,600, even lower than Luca's, surprisingly. And his cards continue to go down. You can see that big downward slope right towards the end there. His silver prism over the last 30 days is down 30%. This card is now under $500. Let's just blow this out for a second. This is on the fly here. What did this peak at? $6,000. $5,000. $5,000. Multiple sales in the 4 or 5K range. Man, wild times. Sometimes you forget how nutty things really got in late 2020, early 2021. What a time. Like, really, what a time. Holy smokes. Whew. Crazy to look back at some of those peak hype, absolute nonsense pricing on occasion. Zion stuff similar to Luca. I have no idea where the floor is on this. I would suspect this gets to 400 or less. It maybe goes below that. I just don't know what's going on with him. Like, does he want to play basketball? Does he not? Was he not in shape? I think the general consensus seems to be that, yes, he was healthy, but he just wasn't in good enough shape to play in that playoff game, to start practicing in full and to get where his body needed to be. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the typical off-season thing goes, and, in the late summer, early fall, or late summer, early fall, we see the viral post of him showing up to camp looking like a Terminator or something, and his card prices spike. But I just can't do it with this guy. I can't. I just can't. So moving off of basketball, let's transition over to baseball. Just one quick thing I wanted to touch on, and we'll get out of here. Tatis, Mr. Fernando Tatis is back, and his card prices have been creeping up the last 30 days. This is his first Bowman 2016 over the last 30 is up 20%. That's his auto. That's in a BGS 9.5. 2019 Topps Chrome Refractor up 20%. Prism Refractor up 10%. And X-Fractor up 20%. He has been absolutely destroying baseballs in AAA, which you would expect out of a player of his caliber. We will see what he does on his return to the majors. I believe he came back on Friday. Over the weekend, or right before the weekend, he came back. At time of recording, I don't think he's hit a home run yet, but absolutely smoked the ball in AAA. and his price has crept up from that hype of the return. I don't pull anything, but just a note, Ohtani stuff continues to be white hot in that market. Some Juan Soto stuff seems to be dipping a little bit. His first Bowman autos are holding kind of strong, but some of his other stuff starting to tick down a little bit as he's had kind of a slow start to the season, which he does this all the time. He has these long stretches where he's kind of meh and everyone's like, Juan Soto, he sucks. And then he goes nuclear for like the rest of the season and everyone's like, oh yeah, Juan Soto, good at baseball. Forgot. So we'll see what happens with that as well. So no football this week. Enjoy the NBA playoff games. And then we have the draft. Should be another exciting week. Content for this upcoming week. I have 3 videos already recorded. I would assume they will all come out this week, but some of them are not time sensitive, so they could get pushed back. I purchased a 90s collection, at least a portion of a 90s collection. That video will be up probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. I did a pickups video. I have not done a pickups video in like a month. So I had a bunch of mail stuff, a bunch of trades, some wax, a comic book, the whole 9 yards. So that video is recorded. I also ripped that Prism Mega Box. That video is recorded. I still have to edit that one, but that video is recorded. I potentially have some new stuff to go over. We'll see what happens with that. And then people have been clamoring, and I haven't done this in a long time, so I am due. I just need to find time to research. People have been clamoring for a comic book video. So I would like to try to get a comic book video out. I have an idea of what I want to talk about, but like I said, I need to find time to dig into some stuff on that front. A lot of key comic books are at some very attractive prices. Some very attractive prices. As the comic book market has reset, very similar to the sports card market. And some pretty major significant books are resetting back to even lower than some pre-pandemic prices. So I kind of want to dig in on some of that stuff. So no promises for that this week, but it's on my radar to dig back in on some of that stuff. And then whatever pops up, we never quite know anymore. It's been wild times around these parts. So that's all I got for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace. Go Cavs.